We have sound effects now?
Matthew?
And Matthews.
Here, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings herefore adopted and posted on the public bulletin board at the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, the Herald News, the Record, the Gazette, and all persons who've requested the mailing of such schedule. And a copy of said schedule has remained on file in the office of the Borough Clerk from and since December 7th, 2017. Approval of the minutes. Can I have approval of the minutes for the regular meetings of May 2nd and May 16th, 2018?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bennett, second by Sinning. Any discussion? Roll call.
Sinning.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment. I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard on agenda items, please come forward, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mealy, second by Sinning. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have no adoption of ordinances tonight. Old business. Gary, do you have any old business?
No, I don't.
Bruce?
No.
Dominic? No. Okay. Dominic, any new business? Nope. Bruce?
Oh, yeah, just a quick question. Now that sports betting is about to become legal in New Jersey, are we working on an ordinance to keep betting parlors out of Hawthorne? You know, around our school gymnasiums and Little League fields?
I assume that question was for Michael.
I assume that question was more of sarcasm than question, but there is nothing currently pending before the ordinance committee in that regard.
But betting parlors are not a permitted use under the Hawthorne Code.
They're not a better permitted use in the state of New Jersey at this point. Only places that have a license to operate right now, either a casino or a racing facility, and we don't have either.
So we're safe.
So far.
What a relief.
Anything else?
I just got a question. We put up signs for the paving, the temporary signs, but that storm, I think it was Saturday night, they're just sticks with a piece of paper on them. They're all gone. Every one is gone that I could see.
We'll get them back up.
Yeah, because they're actually started, they're actually working on some of the signs.
These the police signs or?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, you'll get them back up.
Yeah, the police ones, yeah, they're
Yeah,
all,
the contractor signs are more permanent, so
yeah, I don't know who put these up, but,
police would have done that.
yeah, they're just cardboard on a piece of wood, but the bad storm took everyone down.
Is that it? Okay. Turning to the administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. This morning, I had the opportunity to attend the Roar culmination at Jefferson School. Today was the last of the 5. We have a program, Roar, in our schools. It's a offshoot of the DARE program, which a lot of you may have gone through. Roar was designed by the police and the Board of Education to better reflect the lessons that they wanted to teach our youth. It's a great cooperative program between the Board of Education, the Police Department, the Municipal Alliance, and the Mayor and Council. It's been a tremendous success, and we have turned out a lot of graduates over the years, and I commend those officers who have been teaching Roar. Sergeant Geyer is retired as a Roar instructor after about 10 years at Jefferson School, and it was taken over quite capable by Tanya and George, and it's just, if you've never been to, and I know, Council President, you've been to Roar Culminations, and it's really a great program that we do as part of a cooperative program with the Board of Education. The annual Memorial Day service and parade was held last week. Thank you to our Grand Marshal, Dr. Frank Shafalo, and to Commander Doug Tennis of the American Legion, Post 199, and Commander John Tao of VFW Post 1593. I thought we had a tremendous crowd this year, a lot of people.
Bigger than last.
And a great parade, and hopefully next year will be even bigger and better. And I want to commend and thank the Little League for coming back to the parade this year. They left the parade a few years back. They were a welcome addition coming back to the parade. and we hope that they will make this an annual tradition as well. So thank you to the Little League. Next Thursday on Flag Day, June 14th, we'll be honoring two Hawthorne heroes, Private Christian Nightingale and Lieutenant James Edgar, with the naming of portions of Diamond Bridge Avenue. Please join us at 1 p.m. at the corner of Diamond Bridge and Taylor Avenue as we honor these men. And again, if you've never had an opportunity to attend a street naming, it's quite a moving thing, because it brings so much closure to the families who lost sons, daughters, husbands, brothers. So I urge you, if you can make that, to please come to that. The swimming pool is open on weekends from noon to 8 p.m., and you can register at the pool now, so applications are there. Tonight's a special night. As you'll see, all of the Hawthorne mayors are proudly displayed here in the back of the room. This project was a joint effort between the Borough of Hawthorne Historical Society and our borough clerk, Lori DeBella. Together with the historical members Al Iacone, Marilyn Reese, Jeff Gardner, and Jackie Walsh, they persevered in their quest to obtain photographs of mayors from 1898 to the present day. We do have some silhouettes, so if anyone in Hawthorne has photos of relatives who were mayors, we can certainly use them, or if you have a better copy of the picture we have, we'll take more pictures. This is an ongoing project, but I guess since I'll be the last mayor in Hawthorne's history, it's over, right? Is that the... Keep dreaming.
Then she can start on council presidents.
There you go, that's right.
That's what the rest of the walls.
What I'd like to do is to call Al and Marilyn up, along with Lori, to talk about the project. So if you would come up. And any other members of the Historical Society that would like to join them. I don't like to just not include people, because I know you're all busy in the project. Okay, John, you're refusing. John, write that down. You did want to come up. So.
Where are we going? Back here?
Yeah, why don't you take the microphone and...
Cameras up there.
Show them where the camera is, Mayor.
Which way am I facing? This way or this way?
The audience.
Take them, yeah.
Well, first of all, it was a real pleasure for the Hawthorne Historical Society to work on this project with Lori, and there was other staff persons too involved, particularly the library. The Marilyn represents not only the Hawthorne Historical Society and is our treasurer, but she's also an employee of the library, and has been very supportive, along with currently Jessica Beelan, is her name, right? Has been helping to research, look in the old magazines and old newspapers, trying to find pictures that were appropriate for us to take and then to transfer onto photographic paper, so that it would really look nice, and been very helpful. And we did it at a very low cost. Who's the treasurer here? I'm sure there'd be.
That's Eric.
Eric, we did a very low cost. So, and it was fun to do it. It was interesting. It also helped you learn a little about the history of Hawthorne and Hawthorne's history. We really should think about maybe putting together a little mini course for the high schools and grammar schools to teach the children of Hawthorne some of the history of our community. Goes back, and we even had a presentation on the geological time when the rocks were first formed in Hawthorne, and then about the...
Who was mayor then?
I think Goldberg was doing it. But it was also the Indians, the Lenni Lenape Indians, and as I'm sure all of us know, there are a lot of traces of Lenni Lenape Indian artifacts, arrowheads and pottery shards. There was clay pipes when they were doing Scordado's restaurant, which is now the Borgata, correct? Batagra.
Borgata's in Atlantic City.
Yeah, my casino. But when they were doing the parking lot of Scordado's restaurant in 1971, they found Indian arrowheads in just doing it. So the Passaic River was a focal point for the Native Americans to fish and did other things by the river. At any rate, we did appreciate and do appreciate joining with the municipality in this project. And it's been 4 or 5 years in the making, obviously not full-time, but and it's been the last year or two that we've focused more with Lori and been able to put it together. Even though it's not complete, it is semi-complete in the sense that we have the shadow pictures, as you can see, and hopefully with the record here, they can publicize it, and maybe we'll be able to find some pictures of the missing 4 mayors. So with that, Marilyn, you might want to say a few words or anything?
Well, when I heard that Lori wanted to spearhead this program, it just sounded like such a great idea, and thank you for coming up with this great idea. And it was, as Al said, it was fun researching, and some of the library members did help a lot for us to find appropriate pictures. And of course, we always go back to those old anniversary books that were, it was like in
75th.
One was from 1973, one was from like the 100th. Right? Yes, yeah, right. And was it the anniversary of the state of New Jersey that we had one too? I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of information in there.
And there was a fire here, and the original municipal building burned down in 1979, was it, John? Did you say that one of the buildings? In the 70s.
778.
78, was it?
think.
So
John, you weren't a suspect at the time.
No. Well,
I guess a lot of stuff got.
yeah, we lost a lot of pictures and records in that fire, so it wasn't easy to find pictures. But Lori, would you like to say a few words?
Well, I would just like to thank you two, and of course your staff, and my staff as well. And I know I picked a lot of brains asking history and names and places, and so I just would like to thank everybody too that chipped in and helped. It was, a collected effort of a lot of people. So thank you. I know you spent a lot of time on it as well, but I hope everybody likes it. I think it came out beautiful. Thank you for your time.
I think it's a nice addition to this.
It is. It is.
I'll tell you, I've been around to a lot of different municipal buildings, but primarily in Essex County, but also here in Passaic County, and they all have pictures of their mayors. And when I saw we didn't have them, I said, that's part of our history. We should be proud and have it. So that's what was an impetus for me, that we didn't have it and we should have it. But thank you all very much.
Is there one mayor covered up there, Al?
Oh, yeah.
We have one refill, one surprise.
Which one is that?
The white pasty one.
The next mayor.
We were gonna cover all of them, but it was too much work.
Nice.
Come over here. Come over here. Take your picture next to your picture.
I think they want you to autograph it.
Do a little suntan in this picture. We may put another.
Nice job.
I do want to share a story of how Al and I met. I think it's an interesting story for tonight. This year will be the 10th anniversary of Hawthorne Day. The first Hawthorne Day, we were setting up and we had instructed them to lock the tennis courts because we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to be interfering with each other. We got down there and there's people playing tennis. And I said, how did they get into the tennis court? Well, they climbed over the fence to play tennis. So that's when Al and I first met, and I promised him that we are working on a grant for a new surface for the tennis courts. And if we're successful, Al, you'll be able to play on a surface without cracks. I know it's tough to adjust to.
Maybe get him a key?
No, he's very spry going over that fence.
That was 10 years ago.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call upon Raina Leosa to give us a presentation. I could stay there.
You want to cut the other ones?
I'll be right over here.
All right, well, thank you for having me talk about our project that we received some grant money for. It's the Gateway to the Passaic River. We've applied for 2 grants this year, one being a $20,000 grant from Sustainable Jersey and an ANJAC 2018 Open Space grant, and we were successful on receiving both of them. So total of $21,500. And what's the best thing about this, I'm on the slide besides the money, is there's no matching grants. So there's no 50% share that we have to kick into these grants. So this is free and clear. And the mayor and I went down on May 8th to receive the $20,000 grant. And I just want to highlight, only 4 towns received $20,000. It's a $200,000 grant, 32 towns won. And we were 4 out of the 1 out of the 4 out of 20,000. So it is a big step for us because the last several years we received $2,000 grants, but we got the big one this year. So what are we doing with this grant money? First of all, I just want to tell you where we are. This is the area that is the gateway to the Passaic River. This is the parking lot. As you can see, it's right next to our ball fields. And we're going to be working in this area along the Passaic River. So this project really builds upon all the other projects that we've done, and one being the rain garden at the library in 2013 that we built. And also all our native plant projects that we've done the last 2 years at the municipal borough-owned property, as well as the Chamber of Commerce businesses, native plants. So putting that all together, we looked at this property and said, you know what, this is an opportunity where we can address the stormwater off of that parking lot going into the wooded area. And we also, I'll get into the pictures, but there's an existing walkway that goes to the Passaic River. And we're going to enhance that walkway. And we're going to do some river cleanups. We're going to install nesting boxes on the property. And we're going to create a trail map and a trail sign. A sign saying Gateway to the Passaic River and entrance into the area. And we're going to tree tag. There's some really pretty trees in that area as well. So this is the pathway here that gets you to the Passaic River. Right here, I already cleared it with Department of Public Works as well as the Arborist and the Shade Tree Commission. We are going to take some of these trees down, because the rain garden is going to sit right here because the water flows into the wooded area. And really the objective is to capture the stormwater runoff from the parking lot. It's going to be 40 feet in length, 4 feet in width. In order to do that, we're going to remove the decaying vegetation and rubbish, and there's some trees, very small trees. We're keeping the big trees. They're going to be the anchors of the rain garden. And so when that happens, guys, when we open this canopy here, we're going to put the rain garden, all of this area is going to open up. Now, these pictures were taken in January. It does not look like this now. It looks like a very wooded forest of trees. So when we open this, we'll have more area, and the idea is we're going to put some native plants over here native to this area. Now, recognizing this area floods. So we're going to be putting grasses and everything. So it's not going to be like the pretty plants that we have out here in the municipal building, but we're going to make it nice and we're going to open it up. And that's sort of the idea of the rain garden with the water flowing into the area. So at the end of that trail that I told you about, this is what you see. And this is the shoreline all along here. And this is where that creek, that brook, Stevenson's Brook, comes into the Passaic River. But this is all open. This is the area as you go down to the left. So this is a partnership between us, the commission, the green team, and the town. We're going to be working with Rutgers, Department of Public Works, the Shade Tree, the Boys and Girl Scouts, the Hawthorne School System, members of the community. This is an all event, all of us working together and putting this together. I do want to recognize that we had letters of support from Rutgers to do this project, as well as the former Tim USD's District 38. And I think because of that and our partnerships, Mayor, is really the reason why we were able to put this package together and to get the $20,000. The other towns that got $20,000 also had partnerships as well and letters of support, so I think that's the key. So, and overall, this is going to enhance and promote the Hawthorne's waterfront open space. I'm calling this waterfront because we're going to open it up. We have opportunities for fishing. We have opportunities for recreation, kayaks, and boats. We're going to utilize native plants. But we're also going to promote the aesthetics of the Passaic River, and for us and for the future. The other interesting point of this project, which we found out, is New Jersey Fish and Wildlife actually has been stocking the Passaic River at Hawthorne since 2000. Northern pike and channel catfish. And so we reached out to them and said, what can we do to help you and communicate this, because we were unaware of this. About 2 weeks ago, before the Memorial Day weekend, my two commissioners met with the Fish and Wildlife, and they put catfish and they put northern pike. And we have pictures, they're on our Facebook page, putting back into the Passaic River. So there are fish, you can catch them, you can eat, because we're on the upper Passaic River, right, Steve? So, but this project, you know,
More of a
with
catch and release.
yes, I do too. I agree. But with this project, we really have grown with our partnerships and learning about what we have in Hawthorne, and we're going to really make this really well. I just want to talk about some upcoming events, because Monday, June 11th, is our annual June Environmental Program at the Hawthorne High School at 7:30. Please all come. Mayor and I will be there. We'll be giving out certificates to teachers and students. This is where they tell us what they're doing in the school system environmentally. Is also, I'm going to be recognizing some citizens who have worked with us, as well as the 2018 Green Business. And we're really looking forward to that event. The next event, because it goes with the theme, Native Plants, our last green lecture will be at the library Tuesday, June 26th at 7:30, What's New in Native Plants. And we're working with Donna from Goffle Brook Farms. She's going to do a presentation for us. And we're also recognizing her on Monday's night June Environmental Program. So just want to highlight some of the next events. And the next big event, Frank, that I'm working with Meg is our Find the Hawthorne Bee. That's coming out in July. So we're working, putting that together jointly. And we have the farmers market. So there's a lot of great events. We're going to kick off this shortly, but there's a lot of work to be done. But first, I want to hand over the check that I received from ANJAC, our first installment, to the mayor.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Or
Is the drive-through still open?
anything? Okay, great. Thank you.
Council President, that concludes the entertainment portion of the evening. We'll be happy to answer any question.
Any committee
You
reports?
have other reports.
Oh, I have other reports.
I figured maybe you're trying to streamline it, but
Nice try.
Eric said he had
I
a
had
lengthy
my
report.
5 pages and I.
All right. Matter of fact, that doesn't conclude the report of the administration. I call upon Borough Attorney Michael Pasquale for his report.
Thank you. I had a meeting today at the offices of Beatty Padavano, who is the new attorneys for 204 Wagra Road. Joe Burgess, our planner, was there. David Kinsey, who is the planner for 204 WAG. Also, an attorney representing Kohler was there, as well as our special master, Christine Cafone. As part of the most recent order entered by Judge Brogan, he, first of all, extended our immunity again, which was good. And secondly, he said you guys need to get back to trying to mediate a settlement, and we are in good faith trying to work with the developer to see if there's some way to reach common ground. We're far apart, but we did make good progress today, and we'll continue to try to work. I did settle a tax appeal. It's on your agenda this evening. It's Brower Brothers. I was scheduled to start a trial last Monday, and since the plaintiff realized that they really didn't have far to go with the thing, they took an offer we made to them about a year ago. Thanks to Bob McNerney, thanks to Tim Henderson. They work hard for us, and it's a very favorable settlement. Gophelbrook Park, you know I filed a brief with the appellate division. The State of New Jersey and the County of Passaic are required to file their appeals within the next couple of weeks. There is a matter regarding Highview at Hawthorne. I think you're aware of this. It's called a quiet title action, which means there is a lawsuit trying to determine who owns a stretch of road that runs from where Mazer Place ends for about 412 feet up Brownstone Terrace. We have a water tank there. The Mary Street tank sits on property, and it has frontage on that little piece of road. Highview contends it owns the road. We're pretty positive we own the road, and so we filed what's known as cross motions for summary judgment because the judge handling the matter, Judge LeConte, felt this should be a pretty clear picture. We have an ordinance going back to the 1980s that dedicated a 412-foot piece of road as a public road over borough-owned property. So as far as we know, we're waiting for a judge to rule on this, but Hawthorne does own that stretch of road. And so hopefully the matter will be decided in July. That concludes the legal portion, Mayor. However,
Getting back to entertainment.
you will see back in the entertainment portion, I hold in my hands the 2018 hot off the presses, thanks to my borough clerk, schedule of events at the band shell this year. They are available. You can find them in delis all over town, bars if you tend to go there. I don't know how they're going to get there, but I'll sacrifice. Out in the lobby. Grab one on your way out, please, everybody. Let me announce this year's summer schedule. Opening night is June 17th, which is Father's Day evening, and for the third year, we open with Joe Zisa and Friends doing their doo-wop from the 50s and 60s. On July 9th, it's a Monday. We don't have any Monday events, but this is our one and only Monday event because they're a very difficult group to get. We're able to get the B Street Band. My brother John's on the committee. Unfortunately, he has connections to some people in music. The B Street Band is one of the best-known Springsteen tribute bands. They're performing on July 9th. On July 19th, we go in a very different direction. We have the Moonlighters Orchestra. It's a 16-piece orchestra that performs all kinds of music from big band, Glenn Miller and the like, to more modern music. I think it's modern. Chicago's probably not modern to most, but to us here, that's modern music. Billy Joel, things like that. So they do everything from what they call the Great American Songbook. On July 26th, we're bringing back Radio Nash. They were phenomenal last year, country music night, and again, that'll be July 26th. On August 7th, it's not a real band shell event, but it's one we're helping to publicize because we're part of it. It's National Night Out. The Hawthorne Police Department and the Municipal Alliance are presenting an evening with food trucks, with music, with displays and entertainment. It's really a great night. It starts. The Lion Swim Meet is occurring at that time as well. 5:30 is a special start time for the Municipal Alliance and Police Department's National Night Out. National Night Out is the first Tuesday in August every year, and it's supposed to give children an idea of alternatives to things that aren't so good for them. So again, food trucks, music, entertainment, I'll be there. You know, it just as an added incentive. Hawthorne musicians come together on August 12th for Fight for Autism 3. If you made it last year, it was a phenomenal event. We had over 1,000 people attend. We have volunteer musicians who appear and play, raising money and awareness for autism. Fight for Autism is founded by Johanna Burke, and she is a local resident. She does a lot of great things. They raise money for, if nothing else, respite care, to give people who have children on the spectrum, to give those parents some relief from time to time. They do phenomenal work. We have all volunteer musicians. Last year, we were lucky to get Konstantin Maroulis, who lives in Wyckoff, to come and join us. He was an American Idol finalist and a Tony Award-nominated actor. Don't know if he'll come back this year. We're scheduled to have some surprises. It's a great night. August 19th, we show the first of 2 movies in partnership with the Municipal Alliance, Shrek. Everybody loves Shrek, everybody's favorite ogre. On August 23 is a really neat event. We were able to get a group called the Motor City Review. They are a Motown band. They do all music from the Motown era, from the Temptations to the Tops to the OJs to, you know, name your favorite Motown group, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. So it's a great evening. They're a phenomenal band. They're 10-piece horn sections and singers, so should be a great night. And then we close it out on August 26th with the movie Frozen for the younger generation and for their parents. So we have a lot of great concerts. We will have food trucks, vendors at some of them, you know, some of our bigger events. All the shows other than National Night Out start at 7 o'clock. All of the movies start at 8 o'clock. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're on Facebook, Borough Band Show. Also the Borough website, so that this way, if there's a rain event, if there's an issue, we may have to reschedule events due to inclement weather. So follow us all along, and please make it out. It's a beautiful venue. We put a lot of work into it. Our thanks to the people in this community. We are up to, Ellen, what are we up to? Almost $15,000? We're just about $15,000 raised so far. Our goal is $16,500. So for those of you in the audience inclined, when you pick up your flyer, if you want to leave a few dollars out there, we'll take it. Borough of Hawthorne, though, band shell, and again, we're very excited about our 3rd season. It'll be our best. Thank you, Mayor.
And I look forward to being there Father's Day evening for another evening of Joey's Eve with Friends. Next, I call upon our borough engineer, Stephen Boswell, for his report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Arlington Avenue, Marini Brothers has got to finish the last section of curb. We've asked for a schedule, and they're tentatively scheduled to mill Arlington Avenue on June 15th. The band shell restrooms, works in progress. All the exterior walls are complete. We're waiting for a concrete test to come back. Something very unusual happened. They took 4 or 5 concrete cylinders, and one of them didn't meet the 7-day compressive strength, so you have to wait 14 days to check the floor itself, and we'll make sure it's still okay. Hopefully there's not a bad batch of concrete. We're hoping it's a bad cylinder, because it's really a pain in the neck if it doesn't pass, but it's important that it pass. The band shell structure itself, this week, the Fotinas is back in, putting in the tile border where the vinyl border had been having trouble. The DPW building, the oil water separator electrical work is the only thing left to be done on that. The footing has been constructed. The contractor will start the foundation next week. As everyone knows, during excavation, it was found that there was no footing under the existing wall. He gave a very fair price, we believe, and it's a change order tonight that we're asking for about $5,000 to put a footing underneath the existing building, and that will be done. The DPW building is on site, the metal prefab building in pieces. So we anticipate that he will pour the foundation and slab next week and then begin erection the week thereafter. So he should, remember his timetable to complete is August 31, and we believe he'll hit that. Streetscape, the borough has received all of the required forms and documents for the streetscape. So we're in the position to finalize that out. Eric is setting up the final inspection. The water storage tank painting is done. The tank is filled. It's operating. We're still testing the overflow valve. We have to wait for Ron Gonzalez to come back. He's been out a few days. Once he comes back, we'll finish that. And the environmental testing around the perimeter for the lead is scheduled for this week to take those samples. The 2017 road program is completed. We're just getting the final paperwork done to determine which part is the assessment part versus the borough part, and we can close that out. The tax map updates are complete, so we're going to be submitting those to the state. The municipal pool work is all done other than the air filters, which will be done shortly, and the punch list, and we'll close that out pretty quickly. Obviously, it's working fine. The 2018 road program. American Asphalt and Milling started work last week. Concrete curb work in the northern section is currently being constructed on Hillcrest, Mandan, Ridge, Park Slope, and Dogwood. Milling and paving is expected to start once all the concrete work is completed. The Lafayette Avenue streetscape, the project is expected to be advertised on June 11th and awarded at the July 11th council meeting. The roof repairs for the sewer and water department, as you know, Eric had suggested, and turns out to be brilliantly so, that instead of writing plans and specifications, let's go out and see what the number is, because if we're below the bid threshold, we don't need to do that. We have received 6 people, picked up packages. We've received bids from 2. One was $62,000. One was $39,000. So you can see there's a little variance in those, and those are for identical work, supposedly. So obviously we would pick the 39 at this point, if given that, which
The
gets.
other one's over the bid threshold.
That's right.
Otherwise it would be
And we
close.
just want to get lower, as low as possible, just to make sure that if there happens to be a change order because something is found during the work, that we still stay under that bid threshold. The asset management, we're still collecting the information to put together, and that's all being rolled together into the borough software. And finally, on Lafayette Hills, we're working, Mike Pasquale doesn't know this, but we're about to start working with Mike Pasquale because the management company has said, show us the documentation that says we have to test the tank and give you a report every year. So you're gonna get a call, Michael, we know it's in either the developer's agreement or the minutes or the resolution, but it's somewhere in there because they used to give it every year. And the guy wasn't combative. He just said this board said that they won't authorize spending the money until they see that they're obligated to actually do it. So we'll get that information to them. Other than that, Mayor, I'll answer questions.
Thank you, Steve. And now my cleanup hitter, Eric Mauer, Borough Administrator.
My very short
report.
As part of our loss control program through the Morris County Joint Insurance Fund, of which you're a member, today we held our second quarter safety committee meeting and our biannual supervisors training. At the safety committee, we reviewed accident statistics which show that over the past 3 years, Hawthorne's lost time accident frequency has been 80% that of the entire Morris County JIF. And our JIF in turn is at the lowest lost time frequency among the 15 JIFs participating in the pooled municipal excess liability fund. So that means we're doing very well. It speaks to the diligence of all of our supervisors and our coordinator, Jen Scully. The administration has been working on a method to save money on our employee health insurance. Once we have everything together, sometime later this month, we will request a meeting with the insurance committee to review it so we can move forward with it. And I think everybody will be pleased with the potential dollar savings. Although it was looking iffy as of the last council meeting, as the mayor mentioned, the swimming pool did open on time Memorial Day weekend, thanks to the efforts of our pool manager, Rob Berger, DPW Director Bob Scully, and the DPW workforce, particularly Mike Nelson. I offer my appreciation to everyone involved. Usage of the pool has varied over the first 2 weekends between 1 and 150 patrons per day on account of variable weather. We've sold $16,000 in memberships thus far. We continue to be open for weekend hours only through June 17th. We still have openings for lifeguards if someone is still looking for a summer job and meets the qualification. Our DPW and code enforcement personnel are receiving training this month for their respective modules in the SDL software in order to start using the system. We've also started looking at notebooks budgeted this year, which will allow inspectors to use the system in the field. Our administrative staff received training for our new website software. The borough clerk, with a little help from me, continues to tweak the new website content and layout for a launch later this month. We're out to bid for a valve maintenance trailer to be used to exercise and clean valves for the water utility. This will allow us to conduct an important asset management function efficiently and without risking employee injury. We've turned on our interconnect with Ridgewood Water to begin water sales in 2018. At this point, it's a rather low volume, but that could change as the summer progresses. I'm in discussion with yet another prospective tenant for antenna space, this time not on the Longview tank. I hope to be bringing that matter to you for action by next month, assuming everything progresses as we expect. The NJDOT has announced a new application cycle for federal transportation assistance grants. We've been in touch with our former grant writers from 2016 and before about applying for another phase for our streetscape project, the blocks of Diamond Bridge Avenue east and west of the Phase 1 project. And we'll be bringing the necessary resolutions to the next council meeting. As Steve mentioned, we have paperwork now that we can apply for 90% of the funding that we got for Phase 1, and so
95.
95%, which we will be submitting this week, and so finally we will get some of the money we paid out. And also to follow up on what Steve said about the tax maps, we still haven't completed the updates on the addresses. We can do that after we get the approved tax map back from the state, but that work is proceeding. There's a number of properties we have to do field checks to compare what we think it is to what it actually is. So hopefully by the time this project is all completed, we will solve the long-standing problems with two addresses for maybe 30 or 40% of our properties. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Eric. Now, Council President, that concludes the report. Administration will be happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the administration? Dominic?
Once the downtown streetscape, the new project is, we got the bid, how long will it take to do?
The project's only, I think it's a 3-month project at most.
It'll get done before the winter is over?
Oh, yeah. That's why, in fact, Eric's been pushing to get it out as quickly as possible. But we needed the funding in place before we could award it anyway. So July 11th, we'll award it. We'll give them a notice to proceed. We'll have a pre-con meeting that week and get them started. Probably get them started by August. Should be done by the end of before the winter.
Okay.
Bruce?
Yeah, Eric, I had sent you information about a depression that was forming in the street over at Division at the intersection of Washington. Did you get a chance to have someone look into that?
Yeah, I referred that to Public Works. I'll have to check where it is.
Yeah, please, because one of the
I don't know
residents...
where it is, but where it is.
I told you
That's why
where it
they
is.
call it division.
One of the residents asked me,
Okay.
what was gonna go happen there. So, get back to me and let me know what can be done. That's it.
Gary?
I know.
Eric, I did have a question. You mentioned our water arrangement with Ridgewood. Obviously, we're looking at a long-term agreement. Previously,
They said that they are not interested in a long-term agreement because they're planning to go a different way, so we'll sell water up until.
so what agreement do we have in place? A yearly agreement?
We haven't, yes, we have an agreement that it goes up as our rates go up, so, their rates will go up and the same terms, so the 2% increase that we approved for this year, we will get the 2% increase for this year, so.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything else for the administration? Nope. Mayor, anything else?
That's it.
Have a motion to record the administrative agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mealy, second by Sinning. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Introduction of ordinances. We have ordinance number 2212-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 136 of the Code of the Borough of Hawthorne, Animals, adding thereto Article 5, establishing the position of Municipal Humane Law Enforcement Officer. Another state mandate. Be it resolved, this ordinance does now pass the first reading, and said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the governing body at the Municipal Building, 445 Lafayette Avenue, Hawthorne, New Jersey, on July 11, 2018, at 7 p.m., at which time and place all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. And the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish the said ordinance in the Hawthorne Press once and post on the borough website at least 1 week prior to the said hearing, with notice of its introduction and time and place, and when and where said ordinance would be considered for final passage. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mealy, second by Sitting. Discussion.
I just have a question. What does this do now? Is we have, down at the end of Lafayette Ave, we have the county has.
Apparently, each municipality has to have a humane officer. Eric, you want to clarify?
Yeah, there were issues with, I think, a lot of the counties and some of the, SPCA's they were not happy with the work that was being done by some of those, so basically they passed a law that took the enforcement authority away from them and turned it over to municipalities.
So this will eliminate what the county has down there then?
No, they'll still be there.
No, we're still going to call it what the county does, but now we're in charge.
You know, we now have to have
It's going to be the
somebody-
same services provided.
Yeah, and basically, fortunately, this is a state mandate that, at least for the foreseeable future, shouldn't cost us anything because our animal control officers are prepared to provide that service at no additional cost to us. So, unlike many new state mandates which come with a price tag, this one shouldn't come with a price tag, you know,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
foreseeable,
that's right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
That's what-
okay. Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Neely,
Yes.
Jennings,
Yes,
Matthews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolutions, we have consent agenda MR 03-18, R 91-18 through R 118, MR 03-18, install a handicap space at block 277, lot 7, R 91-18, payroll, borough payroll dated 2018, May 25th, R 92-18, acceptance of the 2018 ANJEC Open Space Grant, R 93-18, Chapter 159, ANJEC Grant, R 94-18, Chapter 159, Distracting Driving Grant, R 95-18, Special Events Vendors, R 96-18, 2012 Refunding Bond Payment, R 97-18, Payment of School Taxes, R 98-18, Interfund Transfer, R 99-18, Settlement of Tax Appeals, and R 100-19, Change Order for DPW Garage. Have a motion.
so moved.
Motion
Second.
by Sinning, second by Mealy. Any discussions? Roll call.
Sinning,
Yes,
Neely,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Reports of special council committees. Gary, we'll start your way.
yes, the ordinance committee will be meeting, I believe, the next meeting is the 12th, where we'll continue to be working on the zoning ordinance.
Bruce.
Yes, the next Public Works Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, the 11th, at 6:30 PM.
Okay.
The host, what's that, your host, pay the most, what's that? That's out
Those who
again?
host.
That's out in Vail, that's again, you started, you didn't say it, Mayor. No.
No, I didn't announce those who host, but it's an annual event.
Okay, the signs are out again.
Right, prom, you know, we had prom last Friday, I guess, here in Hawthorne.
That's it.
Last night at the planning board, an Irish pub has been approved to come to the corner of Diamond Bridge and Lafayette. They're still in the process of securing their liquor license, but welcome addition. Hopefully they do well. They're securing some parking spaces in the Rhodes Building as well as
Chase Bank.
Chase Bank. So even though no parking is required, they are arranging for it, so it's not going to be a nuisance. Also, they had an informal work session for the Della Bono property, the project that's going to be on Royal Ave. That hearing will start in 2 weeks formally. But looks like a nice plan compared to where we started. And if you remember, went back and forth between the zoning board, planning board. Current application in front of the planning board doesn't require any variances. That concludes the planning board, and the Chamber of Commerce wants to remind everyone that the farmer's market is starting up again in the last Sunday of June, which is June 24th. And that's all I have to report. Correspondence, we have none, but we have bills. Have a motion to approve the bills and forward them to the treasurer for payment.
So moved.
Second,
Motion by Mealy, second by Sinning. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Neely,
Yes.
Sinning,
yes,
Matthews,
Yes.
motion carried.
Public comment, and I'll open the meeting to public. If anyone desires to be heard, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard? Mr. Dusenberry,
Dusenberry.
for old time's sake, give us a status on how our Hawthorne of the South is doing? Okay. Well, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Bennett, second by
She
Neely.
didn't remember me either. What's going on?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Bennett, second by Sitting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next regular meeting of the Municipal Council is Monday, June 18th at 2018 at 7 PM. We adjourned.
Stop, right.
And I'll tell